Say something. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Presented by Allbar Elite. Get this thing started every morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central. Also, disclaimer, the educational purposes only, past profit is not guaranteed. You make totally up to you, right? It's your responsibility. If you want to know how to trade and do what we do, then we just ask you to go over to allbarelite.com and register for our Easy 80 trading program. And I'll get in touch with you myself, right? So we can help you out. See if our course is a good look for you. Just click right here on this link, and that's all you got to do. 1212. Just trying to help you unlock your future with trading. We do have indicators that we use to help you identify moves in the market. So again, you got Coach Choc and Sunshine in the building with you, aka Choc into the hood, right? Where it's all good. Let's go over here and take a look at some news. All right. Well, down here is where we're at. Nothing going on until 9 o'clock. That is orange photo news for CAD. It's pretty simple. Then over here in other news, we are looking at, what's that? What you say? Couldn't hear you. Lemons and limers, baby. Lemons and limers. We got some red photo news for CAD. 50 minutes. Orange photo for USD in 50 minutes. And then orange photo in about an hour, for a little over an hour for USD again. Florida must be in the building with this orange juice, because even JPY is going to be bringing you a picture or two of orange juice. All right. So get ready. Let's get into this market and let's see what's crack-a-lacking. Right. Just want to do a double check on the sound check. Make sure everything is all good. Want to make sure I'm being heard. And it almost seems like silent night. All right, we're good. And just in case you did not get the word when I posted, I want to speak it out loud. Okay? The word of the day: speak the truth in love.
We are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ. That is Ephesians 4:13. Let me say this: it's time to grow up. Take those excuses, put them on the shelf. Take those excuses to God. Take all your baggage to Him. Lighten that load. Go ahead and do what you got to do. I mean, the devil and the adversary are doing their job to discourage, stop you from prospering. Right? Put that doubt in your head, make you want to give up. All right. So with that being said, we know what the word is. Let's go ahead and get over into this market. I was taking a look at what we have here, and I'm not sure. I'm just looking at Telegram. I think we missed a trade the other day. So I know we put out 2 trades yesterday or Thursday. I'm sorry. It was not Thursday. It was on the 5th. I only see 1 trade out there. That's Euro CAD. And we did hit TP on that one. And then I see NZD USD was, I'm sorry. Yeah. I see NZD JPY. Do you remember this one? NZD JPY? It's not in the chat. I'll have it in the chat. So if you did get that one, let me know. You did take trades from the 5th. What trades were called out? We just have so much going on this end. Trying to keep up. I do know on 4th, we had a buy for GU on the 4th. That buy on the 4th was for 50 pips. And that was smashed. Let me see if I can show you that. All right, here we go. Buy on the 4th was put in. Here's the 4th. And we actually came up there and took out that 50 pips. Really sweet. Really sweet, really sweet. I think we had a call from our system that gave us a call somewhere on 5th to take this trade. It's the wrong one I have up. Let's see if I can pull that back up. I'm not sure which one it was, but anyway, we caught it. We hit a 50 pip trade. So, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Just trying to figure out what happened over here. So far for the month, look like trades that we've called, we won. There may be one that didn't activate. NZD USD, I see we had a buy stop for NZD USD. Let's see if NZD USD went up. Yep, and again, as you can see, that's from the 4th as well. back to the 4th, we can see that market has went up since then. So good stuff, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right, so what are we doing today? What are you guys looking at? Anybody looking at anything? Have anything in particular that you want to see? Let me know. I'll be looking in the chat if you have anything out there. All right. Kind of waiting around to see if anybody is looking for something or looking at something. We don't have any U.S. news. Go ahead and see what we can see on GU or UJ. Sorry. So UJ, as we can see, it's been consolidating from some time here. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. See some liquidity here. We see a nice low imbalance. So I'm expecting a drop on UJ. Let's take a UCAT. Let's look at CAT. Expecting CAT to continue pushing down. I wouldn't make a move yet, just stuck in this consolidation as well. If you're looking at CAT on the hour, one of the good things to be able to do would be to look at and see if you're going to have this red dragon is going to eat. We've got a box right there. That looks really good, for this dragon to take it out. Takes that out, then that will be a nice move. That's on the hour. So it looks like on the 5 minute here where we're at now. I mean, you even have a 5 minute move. I'll set up I'm gonna set up an alert on the 5 minute. Just set up some traps to see what's happening. If we get some of these traps hit, then I'll know what direction to go in, and so will you. It's as if you have the system. So just looking for some trampoline to be broken on this one. So we hear a dog barking, and we know that the zone has been compromised. All right. Look at Chef. One thing about it, if you're not really sure, then just move on. So I'm just gonna move on. Not gonna stick around on Chef. Go over here and look at GU. Now we see all this power that GU has here. I want you to take a look at the system if you have it. Just look at what we're facing here. And we are looking at a nice little brick wall here. You got Mr. R sitting right there. So I'll look for a break of your trampoline. A nice place to put a lookout. All right, so at a burning your trampoline, nice place to put a lookout. So just look for that. See if you can catch this next move. All right, looking for a sale there. AU. So looking at AUD USD. No. Overall, this would be a downer. Looking for a sale, but right now, if you see it dropping down, I would look for this to push up. Looking for a buy here, but So Euro USD. All right. So I see the strong push down here on the euro. But what I would be looking for, let's just see if we could. Well, this happened is I'm looking at above 66.50. Yep, so somewhere up in here. It's possible. Still keep pushing down, but I'll be looking for a move right up in here. So I'm gonna go for this one. Close enough, 66.51. There we go. All right. Show me what you're working with. So Euro USD right here, I'm looking for a buy stop. $1.166.50. 1.16650 for entry, and for TP, looking at 1.16751. 1.16751. Just gonna do it for that. All right, we got a bite. We just got a bite. We'll take a look at USD CAD. See what's smurfing. All right. All right. Let's see here. Trying to get USD CAD in position. Talking about 312. Three, 290, 289, 285, 285. Let's do that. Boom. There we go. Perfect. So USD CAD. Setting up a sales stop on USD CAD. Entry is going to be 1.3. $1.37, 285. 1.37, 285. TP is going to look like 1.371, 82. 1.37182. That's what we're going to wait for. False alarm on CAD. Don't take that. All right, so we're good to go. We're set. Now we just sit back and see what happens. All right, so hold tight. I will see if I can find something exciting for your earbuds, some brain food. It's not like we need to follow or listen to more music.
You wake up in the morning before the world hits you with the bills, the news, the traffic, the noise. What do you say to yourself? See, what you feed your mind before your feet hit the floor, that matters. That shapes your day. That becomes your direction. because the most important conversation you'll have today is the one you have with the person in the mirror. So I'm going to give you 9 things to tell yourself every morning. Not just words, truths. And if you let them take root, they'll grow something powerful in your life. You opened your eyes this morning. Don't take that lightly. Don't scroll past that like it's ordinary. Don't toss that fact into the bin of routine. Because what you just did, wake up, that's not guaranteed, it's not automatic, it's not owed. Somebody laid their head on a pillow last night and didn't get back up.
Marcus, thanks for playing. We asked 100 advertisers, what are the top 5 streaming channels to advertise on? If you can guess those top 5, then I'll pay for the next 10 customers who walk in.
Really? All right, first up, let's do Peacock.
Bruh, Peacock is in.
Okay, HBO Max.
HBO Max is there.
All right, ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus is on the board.
Woo! Okay, 2 more. Roku.
Roku is in.
For the last one, Pluto.
Marcus, you just guessed all 5 of them. With Vibe.co, you can advertise on 500 plus streaming platforms.
A father, a daughter, a student with plans, a mother with dreams. Over 150,000 people didn't make it to this sunrise, but you did. You got another shot, another chapter, another breath in your lungs, and maybe your back still hurts. Maybe the bills are still stacked. Maybe you're waking up alone or anxious or tired of carrying something nobody else can see, but you're here. And that alone means the story ain't over. You're still in the game. And that right there is a blessing. Don't disrespect the gift just because it didn't come wrapped in the color you were hoping for. Just because it doesn't look like what someone else posted online. That comparison will rob you every time. You woke up thinking, man, I don't have what they got. But maybe, just maybe, you have what they're praying for. Breath, mobility, a second chance, time. You see, we live in a world that tells you to chase more money, more recognition, more stuff. And that noise can get so loud that you forget the simple miracle of waking up. Not in a hospital bed, not under a white sheet, but in a room with a ceiling and a chance. Let me tell you something I've learned. If you can breathe, you can build. If you can move, you can change. If your heart's still beating, God ain't done with you yet. I remember hearing about this man worked 2 jobs, barely slept, lost his wife, his home, nearly gave up. But every morning he'd get up, look in the mirror and say, I'm still here. That means I still got purpose. And little by little, he fought his way back, opened his own barber shop, hired 3 other guys trying to make it, started coaching kids who didn't have fathers, all because he didn't quit on the gift of being alive. You don't need everything to be perfect to be grateful. Gratitude is not about having everything. It's about noticing everything. Take 1 minute, just one, and look around you. That sunlight coming through the window, that warm shower, that cup of coffee in your hand. There's somebody lying in a hospital right now who would trade everything they've got to have what you already woke up with. So many of us wait for some massive miracle, some big sign, some lottery moment to feel blessed. But real blessings, they show up quietly. They show up in the small things, the ones we overlook while chasing the big ones. Being alive is not just about surviving, it's about being aware. Aware that every heartbeat is a drum, keeping time for the mission you haven't completed yet. Every breath is a whisper from something higher that says, not yet. You've still got work to do. Keep going. And yeah, maybe your alarm clock didn't go off. and your car needs gas, and you've got a meeting you're not ready for. But guess what? You've got a body to move, a mind to think, a soul that can grow. There are people with millions in the bank, sitting on penthouse balconies, who would give it all up for one more day of health, one more day to walk, to laugh, to hug somebody. So the next time you feel like your life isn't enough, stop, pause, place your hand on your chest, feel that beat. That's purpose. That's power. That's proof that today you matter. And maybe, just maybe, this day won't be perfect, but it can still be beautiful if you choose to see it that way. You are alive, and that alone, that's the blessing. Listen, I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care how bad it got, how deep the hole was, how heavy the shame felt. I don't care if they walked away, if the deal fell through, if you lost everything or almost lost yourself, because the truth is, you are not what you went through. You are not your worst moment. You are not the pain. You are not the label someone slapped on you when they didn't know your whole story. See, people love to define you by the chapter they walked in on. They don't see the prologue. They don't read the footnotes. And they sure don't wait around to watch how the story ends. But that's not your problem. That's not your weight to carry. Because you are the author now, the pen's in your hand, not theirs. Not the one who left, not the teacher who said you'd never make it, not the parent who gave up, not the voice in your head that whispers, you'll never be more than this. Too many of us are walking around with our heads down, dragging the chains of who we used to be. We replay the same mistakes in our minds like a broken record over and over again. If I'd only done this, if I'd only said that. But let me tell you something, that moment is gone, it's done. And every time you look back and let it rule your present, you're giving your power away to a ghost. You ever try driving while staring in the rearview mirror? You won't get far. You'll crash. You've got to look ahead, because the road in front of you, that's where your future lives. That's where your healing is. That's where your redemption waits. I knew a guy once. He had a criminal record, no job, no support. Spent 10 years in prison for a mistake he made at 19. Everyone had written him off. Society told him he was done, broken, a statistic. But he didn't buy that. He got out, got clean, got focused. Took a job sweeping floors at a mechanic's shop. Then he started studying cars at night. Got certified. 5 years later, he owned that shop. Hired 2 other guys just like him. Guys the world had turned its back on. See, the world tried to define him by his past, but he wrote his own definition. He became something new. You can too. You don't have to wear the name they gave you. You don't have to live inside that old version of yourself. Just because you failed doesn't mean you're a failure. Just because you got hurt doesn't mean you can't heal. And just because you've been walking through darkness doesn't mean you've forgotten how to find the light. Some of the strongest people I've met are the ones who've been through hell and didn't stay there. They got up, they found the door, they limped out, they crawled out, they fought their way out, and now they walk like warriors. Scarred, yes, but not ashamed. Because those scars, they're not signs of weakness, they're proof you survived. You want to know what defines you? It's what you do next. It's how you stand when everything says you should fold. It's how you keep loving even after being betrayed. It's how you show up for life again and again, no matter how many times it knocks you down. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to outgrow the spaces that wounded you. You are allowed to say that version of me doesn't live here anymore. So go ahead, flip the page, The ink is still wet. The story ain't done. You're still breathing. And as long as you're breathing, you've got time to build something better, something real, something that reflects not where you've been, but where you're going. You're not what happened to you. You're what you choose to become. And today, you get to choose. There's a kind of peace that only comes when you finally learn to stop wrestling with things you can't control. And that's not weakness, that's wisdom. See, every morning you wake up, the world is already in motion. People are going to talk, plans are going to change, delays will happen. You might get cut off in traffic before you even finish your coffee. You can't stop the chaos, but you can choose how you show up inside of it. Too many of us are carrying weight that was never meant for us, trying to fix things that aren't in our control, trying to manage how someone else sees us, trying to hold together situations that were broken before we even walked in the room. And it's exhausting, isn't it? Trying to grab the wind with your bare hands, you wear yourself out. And for what? All you get is frustration, burnout, anxiety, because stress doesn't come from hard work. It comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. You can't make the sun rise faster. You can't stop someone from lying about you. You can't force someone to love you right. But you can choose how you respond. That's your power. That's where your strength is. Your reaction, your energy, your focus. That's the real battlefield. I remember this older man once told me, you've got two buckets in your life, one marked control and one marked can't control. The trick is knowing which one to pour your energy into, and he was right. Because so many people spend their whole lives trying to rearrange the wrong bucket, trying to fix the weather or the past or someone else's attitude. But those things don't belong to you. They're not yours to shape. Let them go. Now, I'm not saying don't care. I'm not saying be passive. I'm saying wake up and decide, what is mine to carry today? What's in my hands? My attitude, my work ethic, my words, how I speak to people, how I treat myself. That's the soil I can plant in. That's the ground I can work. But the rain, that's not up to me. The harvest, not mine to force. And once you understand that, once you really accept that you only have so much in your hands each day, something shifts. You stop trying to be God, and you start being faithful with what's real, what's present, what's yours. I've seen people go through tragedy, real pain, the kind that makes your chest hurt when you breathe, and still they rise. Why? Because they made a choice. They couldn't control what hit them, but they could control whether they got back up. They couldn't stop the storm, but they could build a shelter. And in that choice, they found power. Not in being unshaken, but in refusing to be destroyed. You want peace? You want strength? Start putting your energy where it actually matters. You can't control whether that door opens, but you can show up every day with preparation in your pocket. You can't control whether someone claps for you, but you can clap for yourself and keep going. You can't make the world fair, but you can keep your character intact in an unfair world. That's what it means to be steady, to be unbothered, not because the world is easy, but because you've trained yourself to stop grabbing what ain't yours. You've trained yourself to stay in your lane and own it with excellence. And it's not just about you, because when you learn this, you become calmer, stronger, more focused, and other people will feel that. They'll look at you and wonder how you keep it together while everything's falling apart. But it's not magic, it's not luck, it's discipline, it's perspective. You've learned to say, this is mine, that is not. I will handle what I can, and I will not lose sleep over what I cannot change. That's where your freedom is. That's where your strength begins. Every single day, you're going to be faced with noise, with nonsense, with things that are outside your reach. Don't grab for them. Don't let them control your mood, your peace, or your progress. Control what you can, release what you can't, and then walk forward anyway. Let me tell you something. There is a difference between being present and being powerful. There is a difference between showing up and showing up with intention. A lot of people walk into the room, into the job, into the relationship, and they're there physically, but they're not really there. They're just filling space, going through the motions, punching in and checking out before their work even begins. That's not living. That's surviving. That's existing. And you weren't built just to exist. You were made to impact. You've got breath in your lungs, blood in your veins, and purpose in your bones. You've got something the world needs, whether it knows it or not. But the world doesn't hand you meaning. You bring it with you. You create it through how you show up. Every moment is a choice. Every room you enter, you get to decide, do I just stand here or do I stand for something? I don't care what you do. You don't have to be wearing a suit or standing behind a podium to have purpose. You could be scrubbing floors or teaching third graders or fixing a busted pipe at 3 a.m. But if you do it with pride, if you do it with heart, if you do it like it matters, then you matter. Because purpose isn't about position. It's about passion. It's about knowing that your why is bigger than your title, bigger than your paycheck, bigger than the applause. There are people who clock in every morning, sit behind a desk, wear the uniform, and still feel empty. Why? Because they've lost touch with the reason they started, the reason they get up in the first place. They've become machines, ticking boxes, staring at the clock, waiting for Friday like it's salvation. But let me ask you something. What are you really waiting for? Permission? Recognition? Some magical moment to come along and give you your worth? Stop waiting. Because the truth is, every moment is the moment. Every day you wake up is the chance to do it different, to live it deeper, to move like someone who understands that this isn't rehearsal, this is the show. This is the main act, and you don't get to run it back. I knew a woman once, single mother, 2 jobs, barely sleeping, worked the overnight shift cleaning offices. Most people didn't even see her. They walked past her like she was invisible, but she showed up every night like it was a stage, smiled at people, took pride in how she left each desk spotless, left handwritten notes for the staff saying, "Have a good day." Years later, one of those people offered her a job, managing an entire building, said he'd never seen someone do small things with such great care. That's purpose. That's impact. And it had nothing to do with the position. It had everything to do with presence. You never know who's watching. You never know what seed you're planting. You think your role is small. Purpose doesn't come in sizes. A candle may be small, but in a pitch black room, that flame changes everything. So when you walk into a space, whether it's a classroom or a boardroom or a kitchen, bring your fire. Show up like someone who means it. Don't just clock in. Connect. Don't just stand there. Serve. Don't just speak. Speak life. People don't remember the ones who showed up to take up space. They remember the ones who made the space better because they were in it. And maybe you're tired. Maybe no one's noticing. Maybe you've been pouring and your cup feels dry. That's when you dig deeper. That's when you remind yourself why you started. Because your purpose is not always going to clap for you. It's not always going to show up with a paycheck or a parade, but it will leave a mark. And that mark is how you'll know you're alive. That's how you'll know you're not just passing time, you're changing time. You're bending moments toward meaning. We live in a world that celebrates noise, distraction, the surface. But purpose? Purpose runs deep. It shows up in silence, in consistency, in character. It shows up when no one's looking, when the camera's off, when it's not glamorous. That's when it counts. That's when you discover who you really are. So don't just be present, be purposeful. Walk into your life like it's your assignment, like someone's life depends on your energy, your kindness, your excellence. Because it does. You may never know the full reach of your actions, but that doesn't mean they don't matter. That doesn't mean they don't ripple out and touch lives you may never meet. You were not born to be wallpaper. You were not created to blend in. You were made to light up the room. So light it up, show up, stand up. And whatever you do it with purpose. And let me say it louder for the ones who didn't hear it the first time, for the ones who never got to hear it growing up, for the ones still trying to believe it even now. You are worthy of love, respect, and peace. Not because you earned it, not because you're perfect, not because someone else finally decided you were enough, but simply because you exist. Simply because you are here, breathing, heart beating, soul still searching. That is enough. You don't have to beg for what should be basic. You don't have to shrink to fit someone else's comfort zone. You don't have to keep proving yourself just to be treated like a human being. Somewhere along the way, too many of us got convinced that love is for the flawless, that respect is for the successful, that peace is for the privileged, that if you made a mistake, if you carry scars, if you've been through the fire and got burned, then maybe you don't get those things. Maybe you're too damaged, too loud, too quiet, too complicated. But that's a lie. A deep, dangerous lie. You are not too broken to be loved. That heartbreak didn't disqualify you. That failure didn't erase your value. The way they treated you, that's not a reflection of who you are. That's a reflection of them. And if someone makes you feel like you're not worthy of love, of being heard, of being seen, let me tell you straight, they are not your people. People who love you don't leave you in pieces. They don't twist your light into something shameful. They don't gaslight you into silence. And they definitely don't make you doubt your own value just so they can feel more powerful. That's not love. That's control. That's insecurity wrapped in charm. And you've got every right, every single right, to walk away from that, to protect your heart, to protect your peace. Because peace is not a luxury. It's not a reward. Peace is necessary. It's what allows your soul to breathe. It's what lets you think clearly, sleep deeply, dream freely. And if being around someone constantly costs you that, your peace, your confidence, your voice, then the price is too high. I don't care how long you've known them, how much you've given, how many good memories you've shared. If staying requires you to abandon yourself, it's time to let go. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. When you raise your standards, when you stop laughing at jokes that cut too deep, when you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, something shifts. The energy changes. You stop attracting drama and start attracting people who value what you bring, who see you and say, I don't want to change you. I just want to grow with you. But it starts inside, with the way you speak to yourself in the mirror, with the way you forgive yourself when no one else will, with the way you remind your own heart, I am worthy, I am enough, I am still healing, yes, but I'm not unlovable. You start there. You speak that truth until it becomes your reality. You didn't come this far to live your life trying to earn crumbs of affection. You were not born to be someone's afterthought. You are not a backup plan. You are the main story. You are the headline. And the moment you realize that, deep down in your bones, you stop settling, you stop explaining, you stop chasing people who walk away every time it gets hard. Love is yours. Respect is yours. Peace is yours. And from this day forward, may you never again doubt that you deserve all three. Progress is better than perfection. Say it again if you need to. Because too many of us are out here stuck, not because we don't have potential, not because we lack ability, but because we're waiting on some perfect moment, some flawless version of ourselves to suddenly appear.
When I say powerful word, that being said, I want to go right into the word of the day, Ephesians 4:15. It's time to just stop, let go, and give it to God, right? So that scripture says, speak the truth. Rather, speak the truth in love. We are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ. Ephesians 4:15. Away with the excuses, away with the baggage, away with the lies. Sometimes we need somebody to speak the truth into us. Um, we need somebody to speak truth to us in love, not in, putting us down and trying to hurt our feelings. And maybe you coast along thinking that you've reached your limit and you can't step into a new challenge, but you have the gifts and talents that you need. You have tapped into some gifts and talents, but there are more that are still in you that you haven't used yet. It's time to put away the excuses. Drop the bags, step into the new level, start learning something new, start training for the next program, start taking on more responsibilities. Even if it's at work, even if it's at school, write that song that's been in your heart, write that book, start that business. More than that, start teaching that Bible study. You've been thinking about doing this for years, never done it. There is potential, right? You got potential and you just laying dormant. That's what the enemy wants. So let's get away from it. And this is something that speaks loud and speaks a volume to me, right? So I really had to share this because it speaks to what I'm feeling right now at this moment. So let us pray. Let us pray. Let us pray. Father God, thank you for your power. Thank you for the power that you have given me. Power to release an old thing, any old habits, any excuses that are keeping me from being my best, from being what you have created me to be. Thank you that you have given me everything I need to step up to a new level. I declare that I am putting away the old excuses, the old baggage, and I'm giving it to you, Lord. Stepping into faith. In your holy name, I pray. Amen. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and end this Zoom for this Zoom, end this meeting for today. And I'll see you all tomorrow if the good Lord has says the same. Take care. Don't just enjoy the rest of your day. Get up, get out, do something. All right? Because you are more than able. You are more than able.